Next section I'll be talking about is textures. Without textures, our worlds and assets and props would look bland and boring like this. It's fun still, but no textures. With textures, we get color and vibrancy. So I'll quickly go over some of the different types of textures we use to make up a material. Um, some people will use textures to create realistic environments and props. Others will use them to create more cartoony looking environments. We typically use something called PBR, which is physically based rendering. And this uses a few textures to create materials that have depth and reflections and such. So I'll quickly go over a few of the basics. This right here is called the base color or diffuse or albedo. Um, there's some slight differences between the two or the three, but I'm not going to be talking about that here. But as you can see, um, this looks just like a flat image plane. No nothing going on. It's still got a lot of detail, but we can't see any depth or any reflection or anything fun. The next one is roughness, and you can barely see what's going on, but basically whatever is white is fully rough, so it's not smooth, it's not reflective, and then whatever is black is smooth, it is reflective. Hopefully you can see what it coming off across the video, and if not, I've got another example over here that is a little more clear, and I'll get to this in a second. The next one is called the normal map, and the normal map is this bluish purplish texture that in our final material you don't see the purplish bluish texture, and that's because this is used for game engines to compute a little bit of depth, so it kind of fakes the depth. And once all this comes together, we get a material. And as you can see, if I zoom in, we get to have some depth and a little bit of reflectiveness on the stone. And if I actually come here and we look at this smooth spot right here, and then just quickly look at this node, you can see that the black is more highlighted, which means that that area is smoother than the white. If we go back, you can see how smooth it is. And then the normal map is used to, like I said earlier, to create depth. And so if I come here to this normal map node and turn the strength down to 0, you can see now it kind of gets rid of that depth. You can't really see it as much. And if I bring it back up to 1 and give some fake shadows, and if I bring in a light and have him rotate around and brighten him up maybe, you can see some fake shadow appearing. Maybe I'll turn this off. As you can see, that looks pretty fun. So yeah, if I bring it over here, you can see that there's shadow. And without normal map, boom, all that goes away, and now it looks flat and boring. The roughness is still there, so it's still nice, decently nice to look at. And if I disconnect that, now it's really ugly. And I turn it back on. And then the next one is more so talking about metallic map. So it's still this next material still uses base color and roughness and normal map, but now because we're working with a rusty metal texture, we want to use something called metallic map. And metallic map is a way of telling the engine whatever is white will be metallic, whatever is black is something called dielectric, which basically is anything non-metallic. And so, yeah, all the same stuff though. But when we come here, we can see that's a little more differently reflective, if that makes any sense. So with this material, it uses metallic texture, and without it, it'll look a little flat. And it may not be super clear here, but if I duplicate this and just quickly create a new material that is metallic with the slider, and then bring down the roughness a bit, you can see it turns metal. And yeah, so we can use this for anything that we want to be a metallic model or prop, like this guy right here. So this is a Bunsen burner. As you can see, nice and reflective because it would be a metal object. Yeah. And then the last one that some people may use is something called ambient occlusion. Not everyone uses this, and it just kind of depends on the situation. But ambient occlusion, AO, basically creates a fake self-shadowing effect on our materials. And if I come back to this guy, to the stone, and let's set this up real quickly. Just duplicate this node, and we'll search for our rock wall AO, ambient occlusion, and actually let me quickly show you. So I connect that, and we can see that we got our AO here. I'll type in vector math, bring it to multiply, and connect them together, and then spit this in there. And you may not be able to tell immediate difference, but if I then do this and that, so fully 1 is just the base color, and then 0 is using the ambient occlusion on top of the base color. And so it just kind of gives us a little more sense of depth. And now this texture has come to life hopefully more than it did previously.